che stai sacando?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the OG Technically Trek. I am your host, Dave Prime. Over there is my witchy Captain Katie. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm alive.
That's a
I'm
good thing.
alive. No,
Well,
I haven't been well, so I've been on 2 different types of antibiotics, and they've really been
mm,
kicking my ass. I've been quite ill over the weekend. But I'm alive. I'm surviving. Although I think I'm on like day 3.5 of no sleep. So
y- yeah,
it's
yeah, that probably doesn't help with
interesting.
the sick.
It really doesn't. And I'm now everyone who knows me knows that it's very rare that I get cold. The only time I generally get cold is when I've been awake for like 4 or 5 days. My pain levels rise. I'm so tired and I can do nothing but shiver. Hey.
Hey, Brittany.
But my windows are wide open. It's like, I think in Fahrenheit, it's about 35. Um, Windows wide open, fan on full, no heating on. When I've got my PC on, I've got 2 extra fans on as well. And I got my duvet out for winter, and I'm considering going back to my blanket because I'm too hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd get along with one of the people that lives in the house here because he and his housemate are definitely Oscar and Felix from The Odd Couple. To the T. And yeah, I'd say love them both, but hopefully they can get along because it is starting to get cold here in the springs, even though we have yet to have any measurable snow. They
I
keep on
know.
they keep talking about it, but it's not quite happening yet. Pikes Peak just if I can get I think it's over here on my left is got a new little dusting of snow on top. That's at 14,000 feet. I'm at about just north of 6,000 feet in elevation. But yeah, this is starting to be I think the latest snowfall in the springs in the last 10 years. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I've
Cassie
shared
was
this
saying
before.
the
Is
other night. Yeah.
yeah, 2021 was the last time it was December 31st they got their first measurable snow here. Like
Well, we're supposed to be
last year,
getting we're supposed to be getting really bad snow over this next week, but I'll believe that when I see it, because the
yeah.
amount of times they're like, oh, really bad snowstorms and really bad thunderstorms. We'll have like an inch of snow, and then we'll have like a clap of thunder and maybe one flash of lightning, and that's it. And that's like a
How
really
much
bad snowstorm.
snow?
And I'm just like,
I
no, we still haven't had enough snow for me to build a snow woman with big boobs. We still haven't had enough snow for that.
sorry, my allergy. It's November. I should not be having my allergies this time of year. It's
I understand.
ridiculous. What
I
it yeah.
understand.
So I say I might have to turn my mic or turn my camera off and do another Flonase shot up my nose. I don't think anyone wants to watch that. So But yeah, this is gonna be a tough week for me. And say number one, say I'm gonna be getting this updated to an 18-month ship. It's 18 months since I've touched the sauce. I still can't believe I've made it this far. Say
I'm
I
so
wouldn't
proud of
I
you.
I wouldn't have this place over my head right now if it wasn't for me stopping drinking alcohol. But Friday, damn it, I'm going to get through this. Friday's going to mark 37 years since my best friend passed away, and like I said, it still hurts. It still hurts.
It will.
Yeah,
Grief has no time frame,
no, it does
and
not.
missing someone has no time frame.
Yeah, yeah. See, but yeah, see, it's from the way you guys been getting a bit of a Pineapple Express back there, down there, Tyson. But see that being said, we are going to start talking about. Let's say it was 31 years ago tonight. I got an advanced screening of Star Trek Generations. Tomorrow's going to be the 31st anniversary of the release, and it's going to be 1 year tomorrow since I was a guest host on Strange New Pod.
Yes,
So
I saw that episode.
hopefully I'll get called again and say life has just been too freaking busy for me, especially on Thursdays. Thursdays I
Yeah.
might go back to doing bowling again. I might pop into a Strange New Pod. I don't know yet. It's just managing a sober house is not an easy task. Yeah, but I'm powering through it. I keep on getting good compliments from the higher ups. And so yeah, but yeah, you're
That
it
is very
still
true,
feels,
Tyson.
but little side note, well, no. I'll That's something for backstage for another day. I don't want to make that public just yet. But I am gonna bring we got Zach, we got Travis, we got Tyson all backstage. So let me just get the right thing pulled up here. I guess that works. Hi guys.
Hello.
Not my darlings.
Sup?
Real
Ah,
quick,
there it is.
Tyson.
That's the one I wanted.
Real quick, Tyson. Because Dave just mentioned that y'all experiencing that Pineapple Express out there, and I've been seeing it and stuff and everything. I want to ask, is it really raining man?
That's what the weather girls say.
Well, he's not
It
shouting
might.
hallelujah.
Oh God, if it was raining men, here I am, no ring. Um, that would be wonderful.
In a
You
new
know
space.
it's new. It was a little musty in here, so I'm about to open up a can of potpourri. Um,
He's gonna get someone's attention.
it's an old
I
joke.
love you,
Anyway,
Tyson.
Oh, Tyson, I
Okay.
love you.
There we go. There's that cackle.
Ah,
wouldn't be Tech Trek without it.
there we go.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. And I'm sure
Well,
nobody on Dangerous Thoughts has missed it, though.
Oh, I bet they
Wait
have.
for we can't wait for Dangerous Thoughts, Tyson, with you and Mono.
he's got
Same.
so much going on that I kind of backed off, and when he's ready, he'll reach out, and I'll be here, and I'll be ready to go, and I'm excited. But he's got so much going on with Click Tight, and he's still finishing up Star Crew, and so there's a lot going on, and also in his personal life with father-in-law and
Yep.
his his better
Heterosexual life,
half.
mate.
Yeah, that's what he says. I'm going to say better half. Which reminds me, I gotta get my Christmas card list updated. Um, but yeah, it's I'm
Yeah,
excited when it comes back.
you,
Plus, I'll need Dave's new address.
I was just gonna say, but my cough got in the way.
Yeah, do I need a new address for you, Tyson?
Oh, everybody needs a new address for me. I do have my mail forwarded. I don't know how it works in the UK, but here we go online to the U.S. Postal Service, put in a
Yes.
change of address, and then they put a little yellow sticker over the wrong address, and they forward it to the correct one. So if anybody does send me anything to the old address, I'll still get it. Even if for whatever reason it doesn't forward, my family does still live there, at least for the next year or two. So either way, I'll still get it. But yes, I will update my address. Probably not in a public forum like this, but
No, I was just asking,
No,
and if I needed a new address, I would have asked you to email it to me. But no, I'm hopefully going to be sending Christmas things out, like Christmas cards and things out this week. I am so behind. I've not been well. So if things arrive late, then I do apologize.
I probably
Oh,
won't
good.
start sending out until after Thanksgiving, because I understand, if you're sending things to the US, you want to allow for time to get here, including fucking idiot president who likes to tariff and block everything. But whatever, I'm not getting, this is technically Trek. I'm not going down the political road.
Because we're talking about, the first ever.
See,
Oh,
it looks. I think it looks like a moopsie. It's an octopus, and it's a moopsie.
Oh,
I thought it was a head of a penis. That's pretty cool. I like
dude.
that.
oh no,
I thought it was.
I've
I
got
thought
one
it
of
was a
those with a
penis.
witch hat on.
A little Mario Goomba,
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I don't think
It does
Tyson's
look a
seen
little
it.
bit like.
Yeah, I
See
don't
what?
think
What?
Tyson is my miniature witch peen.
Miniature witch what?
Penis.
Jeez, so
No, I've never seen I didn't know witches had penises. No, this ought to be good.
Okay,
See,
I will show you.
More of a warlock I would get, but
no, see, I changed up my lighting slightly. I think it looks a little better. Oh,
Tyson.
oh my god, it's a witch dick.
A witch
That
dick.
is
A
so
mini
cute.
one.
And a witch dick.
Isn't it adorable?
My god, it's an Asian witch dick. No, I'm not. That's
definitely.
He sits
Oh.
proudly on my PC.
We got
Yeah.
Tyson here for a short bit and everything else.
Yeah, so-
I want to.
Before I get banned for life, I was only kidding.
Oh, Tyson, where were you on the date tomorrow? Did you go and see this particular movie, the first TNG Star Trek movie debut back in 1994?
Did not see it on opening day, but I have seen every Trek from Star Trek 2, maybe 3, theatrically. I don't remember, because Star Trek the motion picture came out in 78. I was born in 79. I was born in Superman came out in 78.
Yes.
Star Trek came out in 79. I was born in 73, so I would have been 5, 6, December of 73. So I don't remember if my mom took me to see it. I don't know, but I know Star Trek 3 through, all the Abrams movies I've seen theatrically. Not on opening day because I hate crowds, but I do make sure to see it while it's still in theaters.
You never seen any of the Trek movies in theaters, Katie?
No.
Not even the Kelvin ones?
No, in all honesty, I've not really spent a lot of the time at the movies. The first movie that I went to see was when The Little Mermaid was re-released. And then the one after that was Wild Wild West. And I've seen the 3D versions of Minions. I went to see The Water Horse, and what else did I get? And I went to see Matrix Revolutions.
Oh yeah, Matrix is really good in the theater. That's a theater.
Oh,
actually, yeah.
I saw the third one in theaters, but other than that, I haven't really spent much time at the cinema. I prefer
Godzilla -1 is another one I saw in the theater, which was really good.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen any movie in the theaters, but I think honestly,
same.
I think the last time I was at theaters was for Star Trek Beyond.
The last time I was in a movie theater was for
wow.
Deadpool 2.
Hmm.
Awesome.
That was nice.
That was That was a while ago. That was even before the Wolverine version, right? Deadpool and
Yeah.
Wolverine or
It was
Wolverine
about
or
20,
Deadpool.
Yeah.
2019
That
or
was a long
something.
time ago. Tyson, because we got you here for a short time, I want to focus on you. Your first,
Yes.
your first impression when you seen this movie. Your first impression of the of the opening scene, the opening stuff and everything, and then what is your general as you can get through it, as time you hear your opening and thoughts and overall opinion from act 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5
Starting
until
with
the end.
starting with the opening, I thought it was a horrible waste of Dom Perignon. Um,
Absolutely. Thank you.
What year was it? What year
Well,
was it?
that's
2262 or 65?
Agreed.
2238, I think, but I'll have to go back and look.
2238.
But we'll have to go back and look. I'm not sure.
well,
But uh,
no,
well, it
the
opens with a bottle of the Dom Perignon champagne floating
yeah, it
and
was
crashing on the hull of
2265 was the year of it, but it's a
65.
typical
Okay,
tradition. You christen a new
christen a
ship, you
ship.
use a bottle of
Jesus
wine,
Christ.
Zim it.
Wow,
bottle
there's
of
Katie's
champagne.
boobies. Hi, Katie.
I am so sorry.
I'm starting to think that she's doing this on purpose.
No, the girls wanted to had something to say.
They want to make attention. But yeah, Tyson, you said the
I
Dom
apologize.
Perignon.
Okay, so the Dom Perignon, it opens with because you don't, when I first saw the movie and you see this thing flying through space, you're not sure what you're looking at. Then you see the Dom Perignon, and then it crashes against the starship, and you're like, aha, something's being christened. And then it backs off, and you see Starship Enterprise 1701B in the Delta racing stripe. Opens with Captain Kirk, who I guess never did, even at retirement, never did achieve admiral again. He just retired as a captain.
Yeah.
Which was a little disappointing because I was hoping that he might have
Mhm.
been promoted
Yeah.
one more time before
Me too.
retiring.
Me too.
But it was what it was. Chekhov's character was supposed to be McCoy, but McCoy was too sick to do it.
Yeah.
And there were a few lines that were written for McCoy, like you've just become nurses, follow me. That was supposed to be McCoy's line, but Chekhov ended up filling that. I absolutely loved when they got the distress call. The captain is starting to stand up. Is there something wrong with your seat? Like Scotty was basically saying, sit down, let the current captain deal with this. Also, when he says, take her out, and he sits back down, very good, sir. Brought a chair to me. Oh, shut up. No, I think he says, be quiet. Oh, be quiet. It was
yes,
hilarious.
he did.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
They was like patronizing him.
It did concern me that Picard came to the revelation that, I need to get out of here and fix something before Kirk did. And Kirk was very dismissive of Picard. I was out saving the galaxy when your grandfather was in diapers. I think the universe owes me one. That doesn't feel like a Kirk thing to say. Like
Yeah.
that was odd to me. But whatever. He does come to his senses. He realizes after he jumps the horse over the creek over and over that he wasn't scared. And
Yeah.
anyway, they come back. Now, here's something that's always haunted me. Why go back in time to the point where, they have to fight and Kirk dies? All you had to do was come back to the Enterprise 2 days earlier, and you could, when Soren was pulled out of the wreckage of the listening post, you could have arrested him. No fight, nobody dies. Why did you have to go back to that one
Mm.
moment?
Uh,
Or if you really want
uh,
to get technical, Kirk could have gone back to his timeline when the Enterprise B rescued Soren in the first place and
That
taken
would
him
have
and
made more
tested him.
sense.
You know,
Stop
there's so
making
many.
sense, Tyson.
I mean, it's just like, why do you want to go to the very last second? The Enterprise still gets destroyed. You could have saved the Enterprise, yes.
Yeah.
The reason why they wouldn't have done that is because it would be too further back in time not to cause any ripple effects. If they'd have gone back even 2 days earlier, it'd have had is it the butterfly effect? just change one tiny thing, even if you step on a bug, and it could change the entire future. And that, so if they'd have gone any further back, events could have been changed, and it could have ended up better, it could have ended up worse, but going back to that point they did was a safe point to go back to.
I asked Rick Berman why they didn't go further back, and he said it wasn't in the script.
Well, there was that as well, but
it's funny that you mention that, Tyson, because with the Trek Cultures, they did an ups and downs for this movie about 6 months ago, and that was one thing that Sean Ferrick brought up. Why not go back to the Enterprise B and just knock out Soren and say so?
I mean, it's there was so much that could have been. You didn't even have to go so far back to affect history. I mean, when they found Soren at the listening post, that was only less than 24 hours earlier. Just go back 24 hours.
The Amagos Observatory.
Yeah, just get him then, and then now you saved the Enterprise. You saved, whatever. Like I said, it wasn't in the script.
Well, another thing that wasn't in the script is when Riker and Worf beam back to the Enterprise and the shockwave's about to overtake them, Picard orders the helm to go warp 1. Say, I'm doing warp 9. I'm gonna get the hell out of there as quickly as possible.
Nothing in nature goes faster than light, so warp 1 would have been fine. Nothing. The only thing would be artificial, so like the Genesis explosion, perhaps. There are other phenomena that are artificially created that go beyond warp, but naturally, like a star exploding, it would never go faster than light. So you're fine if you go to light speed, warp 1, and then everything else is it's not. Light speed is not I forget how the warp factor works, but like warp 9 is 5,000 times the speed of light.
Let me ask you this, Tyson. Since we got you here for a few more minutes and stuff, what do you think about when they jump from the Enterprise after the Enterprise B to Enterprise D, and we seen the transition, and they show that the crew was on the we didn't know they was on. We assumed that they was on the holodeck, but they was on the Enterprise, the old type of sailing vessel and stuff and everything else, and they were dressed in those.
I have to assume it was the HMS Enterprise. Now,
yes.
the HMS would have been a royal ship and not a U.S. ship, where other enterprises typically use the United States ships. Like if you look at the gallery, right, it starts with the wooden ship, and then the aircraft carrier, and then the space shuttle, and the aircraft carrier is USS. The space shuttle is a NASA enterprise, etc. And it even has USS. Even now, it stands for United Spaceships in Star Trek, but it's not HMS Enterprise; it's USS Enterprise. But for that one, it was the HMS Enterprise, which I thought was pretty cool. It was the royal ship.
What about the whole thing about them doing this little thing? It was something that they did to promote. It was Worf promotion to a lieutenant commander. Normally you get a promotion. They don't go through all that extravagant, and stuff and everything. But the whole
Riker
thing
did that on purpose, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. But that was a great thing. Just say, computer, remove the blank.
I don't think Klingons scream like that, but okay.
Well, you never know.
By the way, do you know what this is?
What is it?
The Jolly Green Giant's undivided attention. Anyway.
Okay, I'm gone. Bye. I love you, Tyson. I really do.
Yeah,
we missed this. Tyson's insight and his humor. We
Oh
missed
my
it.
goodness.
Okay, before you go, Tyson, your overall at the end where the Enterprise and Picard made it back, made it back to what's left of the Enterprise salsa section and stuff and everything else. What do you think about the whole, what him and Riker was, what they was talking about to sum up their final like goodbyes for this particular ship and stuff and everything?
Was that the one where he said there's plenty of letters left in the alphabet?
No, that was Picard at First
That was
Contact.
First Contact.
First
I don't think
Riker-
this is. I don't
Riker-
think this is.
I was gonna say Riker pointed out, he was like, I thought I'd get a shot at this chair before.
One day.
One day he was making a comment about like becoming a captain, of his own ship and stuff and everything. And
I think it's
Picard's talking to him
specifically
about. Go ahead, Dave.
I'd say I think it's just more so just like he was hoping that he'd get be captain of the Enterprise specifically.
Oh,
And we see in Next Generation there were like future episodes. I think what was the very last Next Gen, right?
All good
Wasn't
things.
that one where All Good Things where he was captain of the Enterprise D and it had
Yeah.
a third nacelle and
he was
and
admiral.
then
He was admiral.
Admiral, and then it goes right past. The movie literally followed on the heels of that episode, and no mention of the fact that Enterprise was destroyed. So how could he have done that in the future? It's weird. Anyway, there's a lot of contradictions in Star Trek, and it's one of those you just it was suspension of disbelief. Just sit there and enjoy the episode. Don't try to pick it apart.
Well, before you go, Tyson, let me tell you this. Here's a little fun fact too. When in Kirk's house, there was an original. There was a painting of the original Enterprise, but also too, I guess and I didn't see this until I had to go back and look. There was a Klingon bat'leth, Starfleet phaser, and a
Dave is in
Jem'Hadar.
purgatory at the moment. I don't know what's going on. Are you in Hades? Why are you so red?
Sheol. Dave, are you in Sheol?
I don't think so.
Are you in Abraham's bosom?
I'm gonna. Well, my it might be the screensaver on my television. I'm gonna.
There, it changed colors.
It did change.
Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say there was a Jem'Hadar weapon in Kirk's house. There was a bat'leth, a Klingon, Klingon bat'leth, a Starfleet phaser, and a Jem'Hadar weapon and stuff. There's a little trivia that I just recently came to learn about. Like, oh, you know what? I did not even think about that. There were, they put a prop in there that we see throughout the entire DS9. And it happened to be a Jem'Hadar phaser and stuff. I was like,
that's
okay,
it. And I don't ever remember. I don't know. Maybe y'all do, but I don't ever remember Kirk having any interaction with Jem'Hadar. I think
that was a little
straight
odd.
DS9.
No, that would have been 78 years after.
Yeah.
Kirk. Anyway.
Mm-hmm,
that's one of those things that they threw in there, like in the props department. Oh, let's put this and stuff like that. Like, oh no, that's a contradiction. You don't put that.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if it was just putting things together just to make things like kind of like kosher and like in a pattern, or if perhaps it was some little Easter egg that makes you think like, did he? Is there a missing episode somewhere?
In Star Trek, the motion picture, if you at the very opening, where they take him from the transporters aren't working, so Kirk is taken from an orbiting space station to the Enterprise. That orbiting space station is Regula 1 in Star Trek 2. They just flipped it upside down.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But one little additional piece of trivia that I just discovered today is while they were filming the opening scenes for the movie, the next soundstage over, they're still filming the last episode of Next Generation, All Good Things. So they literally, as soon as they were done filming the episode,
yes,
bam,
it was they didn't miss a week. Like, you came into work, if Jean-Luc Picard, right, Patrick Stewart, you come into work Friday to film the last bit, and you were back on set Monday for the movie. I mean, it was like that quick.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Also, too, they reuse the Starfleet outfits that you see that we're used to from the Enterprise that they seen in the jumpsuit in DS9. They
They were
reused a lot of those.
interchangeably. Yeah.
And Riker wore this. He wore Avery Brooks, Benjamin Sisko's outfit. He wore his uniform during the time when he was on the bridge because his sleeves was rolled up. Apparently, Jonathan Frakes is a little bit. He's a little bit bulkier and bigger than Avery Brooks and stuff and everything. So they had the little sleeves that was on his arms. They rolled them up. If you seen him, you were like, "Why is his sleeves rolled up?" And I don't see anybody else's and stuff. And that's one of the
Yeah, I
reasons
was
he
wondering
was
that.
using he was using Avery Brooks's uniform for the movie.
Oh, and LeVar Burton Jr.
Interesting.
was wearing Colin Meaney's O'Brien's uniform.
Yes, he
The
was.
the only ones that were properly fitted were Patrick Stewart and who did they say the second one was? There's one other actor that was wearing the DS9 jumpsuits that they were properly fitted for him, but all the others were just using.
LeVar.
No, LeVar was wearing columns.
Yeah.
I
Who-
missed that one. I
Who-
just heard Column.
Data. No, not Data.
Excellent.
No, I
And
was thinking of something else.
I'm proud
too,
of
but
you,
also
Dave.
too,
It is
but
Column.
also Sir Patrick Stewart, he had a particular part of his costume, his uniform and stuff like that you never seen in any other. He wore a belt. If y'all seen, he wore a belt with his. He wore a belt,
That's weird.
and I've never seen any belt ever worn in any of the
I didn't
jumpsuits.
notice.
I'm gonna have to watch
He
it
wore a
again.
belt.
I didn't notice that.
He wore a
Yeah, I will
belt.
too.
Yeah, I didn't
Hmm.
know. Usually
would
I
think that
notice
they'd,
things like that.
You would think that they would do things like, I don't know, a little bit of movie magic, edit that belt out, but I mean, I
Well,
missed it.
if you
Most of
notice, he
us
didn't
missed.
have his comm badge when he beamed down to the surface to confront Soren. He didn't have his comm
Yes.
badge.
Yeah, that is
The
true.
reason why they forgot it back in Los Angeles when they went out to Nevada,
Valley Fire.
Well, I thought it was
Yeah,
because
of course.
the Klingons would have removed his comm badge so that he couldn't signal the Enterprise to say where he was.
But it
Well,
was
that
the
had been the
Enterprise.
going story.
But it was the Enterprise's transport beam that beamed him down there.
yeah,
It wasn't the Klingon beaming.
yeah. So people noticed that little flubber when he beamed down, he didn't have his comm badge. It's
That was one of the first things
because
I noticed.
oh, I did too. I was
Little
like, "What's the
trivia.
comm badge missing?"
Little trivia.
You know, it's a little thing they forgot his comm badge in Los Angeles.
Well,
You know?
I need to get ready for the net tonight, so I'm gonna have to drop. I might just
Well,
eat this can of potpourri because I'm hungry.
Let's see, before you drop off, Tyson, little bit of trivia for me. This is the only movie ever that I saw 8 times in 2 weeks.
Damn.
It came out like this year's calendar. It came out the week before Thanksgiving, so I saw it on that sneak preview on Thursday. Then I saw it again on opening night Friday, then Saturday and Sunday, and then it got beat out for the number one spot for box office to Made in Manhattan. Ugh. Everyone
that
had
movie
a
shit.
yeah. Everyone had a JLo fixation back then. So
I
I
kind of
did
liked
not.
it. Wasn't that
But-
Matthew McConaughey with J-Lo? Or was that the other one?
Who knows?
maybe the other one. I never watched it because it's just like a self-imposed ban on that. But the next week was Thanksgiving week. My family went to north of Seattle to see the family for Thanksgiving. I was stuck at home working at the TV station since I was the lowest man on the totem pole, so I had to work, which is fine. It's like I'm making money. But after the broadcast, went to the station or went to the movie theater that Thursday, and then I went again on Friday and Saturday and Sunday since I had nothing else to do because I had the house to myself. I was 18, was living it with the parents. They were all gone, and of course me being Mr. Goody Two Shoes, didn't think of calling my friends. Hey, come to my place. I got that place myself. Let's have a party. didn't even think of doing anything like that. I was just too much of a goody two shoes, good boy to
I
even
mean,
think of something like that.
who wants to have a party when you could have called everybody and had a D&D tabletop game going?
Well, that too. I didn't think of
Oh,
it. I just
D&D.
We're
Back in the
nerds
day
here,
when it was
everybody.
simple, and it was just basic, and you didn't have all
in
these other
1994, that was a much simpler time.
much.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
it
The
was.
was.
the best scenario is when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, but then you ate a bunch of mushrooms, and then it becomes real.
The only mushrooms
Listen,
I've
we
ever
know
eaten
you
have
have to
been on a
go.
pizza.
Hey, we
All
know you
right,
have to go. We love you. Be safe
all
and
right,
Be
take
safe,
care.
Tyson.
Stay in
Love you,
touch.
darling.
Love you, man.
all right. Bye, guys. You
Bless you.
All right, so yeah, see, the one thing that he didn't mention, just there's just like so much to talk about at the beginning of the movie, which just definitely kind of your brain goes in a different direction, figuring out things and whatnot. Sue had a kid, and she's her first
Oh
duty
yeah.
assignment was helmsman of the Enterprise.
Yes.
What, Katie?
Mm-hmm.
And also, not a lot of people know this. One of the bridge officers, I can't remember her name, but she's the lady with the red curly hair. That is
She played the
actually Vasquez in Aliens.
yep.
And she also was in Titanic as well. She was an Irish mother of two, I think. And yeah, she was in the movie Titanic as well. It's amazing how
You know, she
different
was
she
in
looks.
Terminator. She was terminated too. The foster mom for
Yep.
you know.
Yes.
Yeah, John Connor's foster mom. Yep.
For more pop culture trivia, everybody, with some Star Trek, well, make sure you like and subscribe over on YouTube.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, like and
it's right there.
subscribe. So
Yeah. Dave Prime 1701. Like and subscribe.
thank you. And then yeah, be sure and check Zach's channels too. The Legacy Ride. He's got a lot of good stuff that really makes you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Dave.
think I try to last week was a really slow week for me for driving for Lyft. I mean, I want to say the last time I did that poorly driving was when the COVID pandemic first hit. It was that
Yeah.
freaking slow. And actually part of it has to probably do with a lot of these furloughed government workers. They say, "Oh, I'm going to drive for Lyft. I'm going to make a few extra bucks." So the
Yeah.
area is oversaturated with cars. So that dilutes the pool of trips for tenure drivers, which
Yeah.
I'd like to see Lyft in start a policy is like platinum and elite drivers, those are the higher tier drivers. They can work whenever they want. Lower tier drivers, they're limited to like peak times and things like that. Because yeah,
That would
that's
make
what
sense.
DoorDash does. That's what DoorDash does. So why not Lyft? I don't know if Uber does it, but why don't they do that too? Because in that way, because there's been a lot of subreddit complaints from Lyft drivers is like, what the heck's going on? I'm not making any money. I'm making half the money. Sunday I had a good day, but the rest of the week it was garbage, hot garbage. I don't know what Saturday was like because I got food poisoning or something for the night before, so I was just pretty much
Ouch.
at home all day dealing with house stuff and just trying to lay down and let it burn out of my system. And then I got up Sunday morning. I was all bright-eyed and
Had
bushy-tailed.
a little bug. Have you ever thought about that? And then we'll get back to the Trek. But have you ever thought about maybe passing off some business cards and trying to get some personal business? Just when it's
That's the
slow, try to get private.
yeah that's the tricky thing. And if Lyft ever watches this, they say I play by the book. But they say
Okay.
it well. See what'll happen is if I give a person a ride off book, they'll get pissed off because A, they're not getting any money. B, if I get into a car accident, the rideshare insurance will not cover me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You got to
saying
be
so. I mean,
careful on that.
I'm overall a safe driver. I've had a few fender benders this year, just 2 within a couple of weeks of each other, in the same stretch of road,
Exactly.
ironically, which is the
Mm-hmm.
same thing that happened to me when I was working for a medical courier out in Seattle. I got into a bit of a fender bender in a construction zone, but then the car went to the shop and they got it all fixed up and things, and then not 2 days after the car gets out of the shop, I get into another accident, the same freaking stretch of road. Needless to say,
Mm-hmm.
I stayed away from that stretch of road the entire rest of the time they were doing that road project because but the odd thing is with that is that 2 accidents in 6 weeks, I'm going to get fired. But the boss told me, he called his insurance, saying, "Hey, I got this guy. I need to let him go. Need to remove him off the company's insurance." The premiums actually increased by removing me off of the policy. Try and wrap your brain around that one. Honestly, if he's still in charge, I wouldn't be surprised if he still has me on the books as a driver to keep the premiums down.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
that
weird.
makes sense.
Yeah. Back to the movie.
That is-
Yeah, saying that oh, let's see here. Let's
Real
say
quick, before we go on and stuff and everything, because y'all talk about like cameos, about like
oh,
she was
yeah.
she was the science officer, and a lady
Mm.
that y'all was throwing out that also too, the person who was at right sitting beside Demora, he had a couple of roles in Star Trek as well and stuff and everything else, and also too the communications officer.
Timbrus.
Me and Dave talk about that. The communications officer, he had quite a few roles throughout the Star Trek franchise as well. As
There are
long
no
as we've
point.
seen Tim Russ, who was on the bridge
Yeah.
of the Enterprise
Yeah,
B.
oh God, that I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to mention that. Say there's so many people on the internet that are confused. Say, how can Tuvok be on the Excelsior and on the Enterprise at the same time? Say, there are no points on his ears. That's not Tuvok. I'm just like, good grief.
He played a human being. He wasn't as Tuvok and stuff. This was he's a different character at that time and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Star Trek alumni who have done quite a few, tours in many roles throughout the TNG, DS9, and Voyager and Enterprise. A lot of them we didn't hear about and everything else. I'm just finding out about some of them and stuff. But yeah.
But yeah, back to the movie. Then of course, like one of the more famous memes came about from this movie. Say it won't be installed until Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So
Let me
it's
guess.
Tuesday.
What? Wait, what? What's going to be installed on Tuesday?
Everything.
Photon torpedoes, tractor beam.
You'll have space suck without a tractor beam?
Yeah, don't get it all until Tuesday.
They had a functioning warp drive. Now don't forget they had a functioning warp drive.
That's always good. At least you can move.
But of course the holodeck scene where it's like, granted, Picard got the devastating news that his brother and nephew died in a house fire. But yeah, because I mean the waves of emotion that he put out as he was about to collapse, reading that communique, which my father did the same thing when he got the call that grandma passed away in her sleep. And saying, but if it wasn't for the kitchen counter behind him, he would have been on the floor. But yeah,
I cried.
I
cried watching Picard read that. Just the expression on his face. I mean, Patrick Stewart, you've got to give him so much credit for his acting ability, because
absolutely
his emotion reaches his eyes. so deeply.
That's
And
that Desmond.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Shakespearean acting
I was just
experience.
welling up. Why have I flipped around?
Mhm.
There we go.
Okay, so we've got the Zoom, we got the flip. Now we got to get the Bat Katie.
Yeah, we're gonna have
don't,
back Katie
because
soon, everybody.
Bat Katie was all over Discord the other night.
Well,
But,
it's only a matter of time. Good episode, matter of time.
But no, the waves, like you said, the waves of emotion coming off him were just extreme, and it was so well put together. And when he ended up breaking down in his quarters when Deanna went to see him, I was sobbing, and I'm not ashamed to admit that, because you know the emotion in that scene, the lighting, everything. It was, and it still hits me in the feels now.
You know, if you guys, I like to do things because I'm a tech geek when it comes to little. When it came out on VHS at the time, VHS or DVD, I slow free frame because the message pulled up on the monitor, and it was an actual message. It wasn't just something when it was like they created an actual message. You know, if you read it, if you pause it for a second, you can actually see, you know, we regret to inform you
Yeah.
that you're something like that. And I was like, oh my God, they really did create a, you know, real message that he read, that he like read and stuff.
It's the same with the scroll that Riker was reading out. Everything he read out was written on that scroll. And you could actually see it through the parchment. So what he was reading about, like Worf's indiscretions sort of thing, his crimes, you know, it was all written on that scroll in very nice calligraphy.
Okay. I like that. That put a little touch. That put a little touch. Like, okay, they really thought that out and everything else, because that right there, what you just pointed out, I did not know that. But then too, you know, the message that, you know, he read, it was like, oh, you did put this, you know, in stuff like it. He just didn't look at a blank screen and just pretend like there was nothing. It was like he read a message. And, you know, I mean, I guess it made it felt more for, if you read something like that, like you said, that first thing, it was just the horror in his eye. He was just like,
yeah,
what I'm reading was just, you know, and he quietly took off his hat, stepped to the side, just looked, and the camera was just on him and stuff. And you could just see in those few seconds, he was playing along with everybody on the bridge. But then, you know, when Deanna asked him, and he called up the arch, he just was gone. He was like, I'm done. He was just like, I'm done. I was like, wow, what happened? That whole time, because I went to go see this movie. I went to go see this movie the day it came out on that Friday. Me and about 5 or 6 other my friends and stuff. We was just, I think, we was in 8th grade, and we went to go see the movie, and it was cheap too, because at the time the tickets were cheap. And I never forget, you know, we was all just like, what happened? We were just like, what's going on and stuff and everything else. What's making, you know, what's making him act like this and stuff and everything. We were just like, there's something major happening to him and stuff and everything. But it was great to watch it on the big screen. And Dave said he went to go see this 8 times. I and me and my friends, we went to go see it at least 5 times. So he got me beat by 3. I seen it 5 times in the theater. Dave got me beat by 3 times and stuff. I just want to throw that out.
Yes, sir.
But no, next time you watch this movie, when Riker's reading from the scroll, if you actually look at the scroll properly, you can actually see the calligraphy through the parchment.
That's neat. I'm glad. You know, I'm glad to know that and stuff, because, you know, this was the first real test of Star Trek. Because, okay, if you guys remember watching, because they was really doing, like you just pointed out earlier too, which I was saying, they was on set and they was doing, filming the last All Good Things and stuff like that. And at the same time, Deep Space Nine were doing their thing too, across, just across the way, because they had their sets and stuff right side by side and stuff. And in the episode Jim Hadar, they showed a Galaxy class starship, and they showed, oh, we got a Galaxy class starship and stuff and everything. Well, I heard, it was just through the grapevine and stuff that they were going to try to use the Enterprise bridge for shots showing, like, hey, it's a Galaxy class starship, same design bridge and stuff and everything else. But of course, they was using it for the movie. They was using it for the movie and stuff and everything, and they could not, the Deep Space Nine crew could not use the Enterprise bridge. Plus, it was going let's say a whole refit. They was doing some renovation to make it, more cinematic. And
There's Bad Katie.
Fat Kate is here.
There we go, everybody. You got your back.
So we've got the trifecta.
Trifecta. Yeah. But yeah, the Enterprise in the last episode of Deep Space Nine, they was going to use the Enterprise bridge, but they couldn't use it because of the movie and stuff and everything. They were trying to wrap everything up and stuff, but there's just no way with all the scheduling and stuff and everything else, because of the Odyssey. The Odyssey couldn't use the bridge on the Odyssey for the Star Trek Enterprise D.
Katie, you had a thought there?
Yeah, speaking of the bridge and everything like that, am I just like really ditzy? Well, everybody knows I'm ditzy, but since when did
says on your name right there?
Well, yeah, but since when did Worf have a chair at his station?
Well,
that was the first time.
Yeah, see, that's part of the redesign of the.
Oh, so it's not just me being extra ditzy.
No, yeah, I haven't done any research on that per se, but since they raised the command center for the seats for Picard, Riker, and Troy, I think with that higher, Worf would be like towering over them. And so they probably put the seat there to get him on a more even keel. That would be my thought.
And plus, it makes sense if you're going to be at a station like that for a good long while. You're going to want a chair to sit down, for extended period of time. If you're working 8 hours and stuff and everything else, and probably take breaks and stuff, you're going to have to sit down and stuff. But the bridge that we've seen in Enterprise, in Generation, in this movie, they went all out because they gave additional size stations. We seen they got additional size stations, like you just pointed out. They raised the command center where Picard, Riker, and Troy sat. They elevate that up, and there's a little couple of steps they have and stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but for me, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, this looks more. And one of my friends at the time said, okay, this Enterprise bridge looked more like a, exploration type ship than a luxury liner than we used to in the entire, run of TNG and stuff. He made a good point. He was like, it actually feels like a starship that we've seen through Kirk's time and stuff and everything. It made it feel almost like the Enterprise B, the Enterprise B bridge and stuff and everything. It made it feel like, oh, this is actually a ship, not just a luxury ship. It actually felt like a ship is like you work here. It's a command stuff and everything. It doesn't have like all these nice fixtures and stuff and everything else. And the lighting too. They changed the lighting. I guess that was for the movie and stuff and everything else. But instead of making it so bright, the brightness of it and everything else, they toned it down, which was pretty interesting to see the lighting that they toned the bridge down and stuff.
But also, I like how they fiddle with the lighting sometimes, because it sets the tone. sometimes, even when like it's a brand new movie and you don't know what's happening, you don't know what's gonna happen, you know, just having like a change in lighting before anything happens, it kind of like prepares you for shit in the fan, basically.
No, but it's an interesting thing you guys are talking about lighting because I was a freshman in college. I was taking courses in a video production, and my professor actually had me. It was kind of a reverse situation where he wanted me to watch Blade Runner to view the aesthetics of Blade Runner, and
That's
lighting was
awesome.
a key element in that
Mhm.
regard. But when you look at Generations, the key point that scene with Picard and Troy in Picard's quarters when she finally is able to dig out of him why he's so despondent. That's a word I don't use very often. But yeah, she finds out that his brother and nephew died, and if you just look at the lighting differences between when you're looking at Picard and when you're looking at Troy, then Picard is going off hiding in the shadows, trying
Yes, I noticed that.
to mask his fear, to mask his sorrow for losing his brother and nephew because he even said to Troy he was just figuring that Robert had a kid, so kid's going to carry the Picard bloodline. This is before he and Dr. Crusher end up shagging and end up having Jack. But yeah, just kind of you look at it that way, that's where the cinematographer is like really on point on things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what, that scene with Troy and Picard just talking and he reflecting immediately when they seen that flash out the window and stuff, and
Yeah.
it got their attention. It's like, oh no, what the hell happened and stuff. Picard just had to
Yeah.
let all that go and stuff and everything else because immediately it's like he, you said today. You said today. I think it was backstage. It wasn't. It wasn't backstage. It was earlier about Dave's. It's been 37 years when Dave's best friend has passed away and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, you said grief has no time or something.
No, grief has no time limits.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's like
Nope.
it's like that for to me. It goes similar with that whole thing with that whole scene about Picard. It's like, I know he moved on, but like I wonder, even when we saw him in Star Trek Picard, you wonder too if he's still grieving, his brother and nephew.
You
That's a good question.
what's good about that we can learn from in reality in our own lives is grief is you learn to process grief. That's all that happens. You never stop grieving. So to answer your question on that, Picard probably never stopped grieving. So
even in his
but
synthetic
also,
body.
Yep.
How many years passed between the events of Generations and the events of First Contact?
2
That's
years, I
good.
want to
Yeah,
say.
about a couple.
What? Oh, you talking
Yeah,
about?
couple years.
Yeah, it was about 2 years. It was about 2 years.
Yeah, so that could also explain the added explosion from Picard in First Contact. He could have still been grieving,
Possibly, yeah.
like going through the grieving process. And because for me, it was more than just revenge on the Borg. It was almost like that explosion when it was just him and Lily. It was almost like everything he has ever bottled up just came out. because just it felt like it was just more than what he was speaking about at the time, and I think he may have used that as a catalyst to allow everything he'd been bottling up just to burst out. And
Katie,
I believe
point. You make a
it
good
could have
point
added
about
to
that.
it.
Because do any of you guys remember any episode? It was the second episode of the fourth season called Family.
Yeah.
And he went back. The Enterprise was in space stuff, getting repairs because of the damage that he was sustained to the board. Worf's parents visit his adopted human parents visit the Enterprise, and Picard took shore leave to home and everything else, and we finally got to see his home and his brother, his wife, his nephew, and stuff and everything. But I don't know if you guys remember at the end when Picard and his brother finally had it out, they fought each other. They got all in grapes
Bloody.
and mud and stuff and everything else, and that right there, what you was talking about too. Picard broke down in front of his brother. He cried in front of his brother. And his brother said some very inspirational things to him that it didn't seem like it seemed like they had such bitterness towards each other, but his brother became a brother to him in a big brother in a way. It was like, oh wow, that's the brother that Picard wanted all his life and stuff and everything else. And as you was
Yeah,
talking
and
about and both you and Zach was talking about the grief when his brother passed and stuff like that, that hit him because he did say this to Deanna. He was going to get together with them next month, and they was going to visit San Francisco because Renee will want to see San Francisco, didn't he?
you want to see the Academy, Katie?
But also another reason why I do believe that like major emotional explosion from Picard in First Contact could have had something to do with his grief as well. If you think about it, when Picard and his brother basically reconciled after they scrapped in the vineyard, he'd actually gone there straight after he'd been captured by the Borg and turned into Locutus.
Yep.
And that was basically his assimilation and then, reversing it. All of that, the Borg were kind of sort of responsible in a way for him and his brother reconciling. Or it was a knock-on effect of that. And then he comes face to face with the Borg only a couple of years after the death of his brother and his nephew. That grief could have just, even if he was handling it really well and he was coping, all of that grief could have just shot back up because, it would have brought up more memories for him than just being assimilated. It could have been after that. And that's why I do believe that it was much more than just coming face to face with the Borg again. I think it was just everything that he'd been bottling up since forever. But he used that very well. And he used that as a catalyst just to let his rage out and his grief.
Patrick played the part really well. He bought the character Jean-Luc Picard, to many of the fan base and, to everybody who started with, people questioned at the time, what is this guy, with a funny accent and everything else, Star Trek, and everything else. But now, Next Generation and his character is one of the most beloved characters in the franchise and stuff and everything else. And he's really done a really good job. He really did a good job at bringing his background of acting and style to Star Trek and everything else. And it really shown in this particular episode too, because I like it. When he was interacting with Whoopi Goldberg, Guinan, when they was in the Nexus and
Oh,
stuff. She even said, if you go, you're not gonna want to come back. You
yeah.
know, none of this
Yeah.
is gonna matter to you. You know, all you want to do is stay in the Nexus and stuff and everything else. And he's talking to Guinan and stuff, but then when she directed him to another person that could help him, I forgot all about William Shatner character, Captain Kirk and stuff. And when, Picard started interacting with him and stuff, it was like Picard was addressing him as, keep saying captain, and he was just, formally saying, stuff like that. I like it when they was working together. He said, "Call me Jim." He was like, I mean, it's formal for captain, stuff and everything, but he was like, he's like, call me Jim when they was going against Soren, on Viridian, was that Viridian 3?
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting to see that because, we seen the dynamic of how both of these characters, especially like, Kirk, in the sense, his love for Starfleet. In the beginning, and when he was in Nexus, he was talking to Picard, and he was just like, his dog Butler was dead, and he was like, all this thing and stuff and everything, and Picard basically was there to remind him, hey, look, you're a Starfleet captain. I'm a Starfleet captain almost 80 years from the future. There is something going on that intersects our lives and stuff and everything else. I need your help. You got to come with me to the future and stuff and everything, because history recorded you was killed saving the Enterprise B, and stuff. And it was one of those things where he was saying, like you pointed out about the whole thing about like the galaxy owes me one and stuff and everything else, and he was just like, you know, why am I here? What's going on? What is all of this and stuff and everything else? And when they was on the horse, and Picard was following him, and he just realized, about, as Tyson said earlier, about like jumping the little ravine thing and stuff. He said he scared the hell out of him every time, but he said not this time. But the whole thing, the interaction between Picard and between Picard and Kirk and stuff, it was nice to see that one captain was trying to remind another captain of your duty, of your duty to stop, dangerous foes from destroying, the galaxy, as people would say and everything. But all in all, it was like I look at it in a sense where Picard did a really good thing, a really interesting tie-up when it comes to the dealing with Soren. Now, when he confronts Soren on that mountaintop on Viridian 3, I love their talk. I love their talk and stuff. And Soren basically was telling him, going to this place, the Nexus, has, it basically brings you joy. You would never know pain and stuff and everything else. And Picard realized, Picard told him, it's our, well, he said humanity. I guess I don't know if he said humanity or something like that, what defines us and stuff. But he was realizing that, what keeps us going too is our pain that we deal with from the most reason, I guess, for him, the most tragic part of right now, what we've seen in the episode, or in this particular movie, was his the death of his brother and nephew and stuff and everything else. He was trying to remind Soren, even though he's still going through that grief, he was trying to remind Soren, trying to talk Soren down from doing this, from destroying another star system. Like, hey, look, I'm like going through some grief and stuff and everything else, but I'm not willing to kill a whole entire star system, and what's that, 250 million people and stuff.
230 million.
230 million.
It's foreshadowing. Generations is foreshadowing with his brother for Nemesis. when Data dies, when Data gives his android life up to save the crew of the Enterprise, and so the grief continues on.
But
Yeah,
speaking of
and with
Data, he has a very big story arc in this.
Oh
Actually,
yes,
yeah, he does.
in a couple of regards. I mean, for him not to understand the joke, I guess they might have put it in there for people that may not be interwoven with the series. It's just like
Mhm.
it's all in good fun, Daddy. Live at the moment. Do something unexpected. Get it? Got it. You go right on the edge.
And you see, I laughed so hard.
Oh, me too. And then, of course, yeah, Worf is just finally crawling out of the freezing water, only get knocked back in again when she falls in. That's just.
I know that made me laugh harder.
But did anyone else notice that the emotion chip metastasized? I mean, it was a
Yes.
Herkin piece of technology when it was
Mhm.
just a little thing.
Yep.
Yes, it was a
Yeah,
different
because
chip.
it was a totally different chip, unless Data's decided to screw around with it and to make it better, which likely would have caused it to overload, which that's
Mhm.
a plausible explanation. Yeah,
That
Yeah.
is a
I was
possible.
just,
Yeah, that is plausible, and I could see Data
yeah.
doing that too.
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, then of course, yeah, I was saving that for later, Katie, when it's actually going to come up. But that scene was totally ad-libbed by
Yes.
Brent Spiner,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
so the reactions on the bridge crew were legitimate reactions. They're like, "What the frick are you? What?" And I wish the artist would responded back to my request saying someone did a music video with Data
It's
doing the
great.
life form songs. It's
It's
yeah. See, I
great.
shared it
Yeah.
backstage. It's great. I tried a couple of different means to reach out to him, saying, "Hey, I'm doing a podcast. I'm going to be talking about this scene on my show tonight. Can I get your permission to play it?" And since I didn't get his permission, I don't want to get the possibility of getting a YouTube strike. So if and when he responds, I will share it. It's beautiful. I love it. It just kind of ties in with some of
Yeah.
his arc in the show and stuff. Has his android mom in there, and even though he didn't know she was an android, she doesn't know she's an android. That's a whole other subject.
But no, I love Data's entire arc. I mean, everyone who watches our podcast, all of you beautiful men, you know that I adore Data. And he is like my all-time favorite Trek character. He is. He is my number one. And his entire story arc, right from Encounter at Farpoint to season 3 of Picard, is extraordinary. It is huge, and it is so beautiful. And I'm going to share something right now. And one of the reasons I love this movie so much, it has got nothing to do with William Shatner, by the way. But the main reason I love this
What?
movie
Bill's
so much,
Bill was the best part. No, go on, Katie.
not for me, is when Data was trying to get a handle on his emotions, but they were just so explosive and extreme. Like his uncontrollable laughter, his uncontrollable fear, his reaction when he drank that shot in 10 Forward.
Well, I love that scene.
Well, all of that, and the way he struggles and fights to control these emotions, but they overwhelm him. I very much understand. It resonates with me so much because my emotions are very explosive if gone unchecked. And I do a hell of a lot of meditation to keep them under control because they are very, very dangerous. But I've got to a point in my life now where, generally speaking, I am pretty chilled. You know, I very rarely have an explosion of emotion. And if it, you know, I have very healthy outlets from now. But, you know, this movie with Data's arc with his emotion chair, I really do understand what Data is going through. And just the way he gets overwhelmed is heartbreaking. But it does happen to people. And when he said that he'd what was it 216 distinct emotional states, and now he's in control of them and they will no longer control him, and then he finds Spot and he is so happy he cries and he doesn't understand it, and it that for me is like my favorite scene in the entire movie because it is so beautiful. And you know, Data's finally starting to understand emotion, and yet it was caught off guard with it, but he kept in control. And he gave a little chuckle when Deanna said, "I think your chip's working perfectly." And yeah, it was just it was almost a humbling moment for not just Data, but for the viewers as well.
What do you think about the stellar cartography scene when Picard and him was in stellar cartography, Katie, and Data couldn't concentrate? You remember?
Yes.
You remember that? You remember that?
Scene is very deep.
Mm-hmm.
That scene is very, very deep, and I do believe, because I've always had I've always been of the mind that Data and Picard's relationship is more familial than rank. And the conversations that those two have had over the years, the advice that Picard has given him, it's very much fatherly advice as well. And I can still remember in was it Measure of a Man? Measure of a Man. The way Picard fought for him, the talks he gave to Data, and then all throughout TNG, there was little moments where they had these talks, and it always reminded me more of like father and son. And then that conversation in stellar cartography, in Generations, I think it was as much for Picard as it was for Data, because of everything that Picard was going through after receiving that news. And he was basically saying to Data that, emotion is a part of life and you will learn to control it, you will learn to master it, but you've still got to carry on and put one foot in front of the other. I can't remember his exact wording, but it was a beautiful conversation. And I do think that it was very helpful, not just for Data in moving forward on his emotional journey, but it was quite cathartic for Picard as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get deep when I watch things.
It's all good. That's one of the reasons why we're talking about it, because I mean, this movie has aged pretty well for the most part.
It has,
and it's very much an emotional roller coaster.
And most of us who went to see the movie too, who still can remember, that weekend, and they brought some good point about, weekend about the movie and stuff and everything else. It's still gonna be one of my, earliest memory. It's not the first Star Trek movie, like I think Tyson mentioned. I've seen I've seen all the Star Trek movies in the movie theater on from Star Trek, and please don't hate me, start anybody and stuff and everything else. But the first one I remember seeing was Star Trek 5. And I see Star Trek 6, and then Star Trek Next Generation on forward and everything else. But my first one was, before that I was a little too young to actually get. I would like Star Trek, but I wasn't like in Star Trek. That was Star Trek, 3, Search for Spock, which I was too young and stuff and everything else. But I really enjoy, you know, this particular movie per se, because it's the first time I went to Star Trek, with friends. At that time, I, you know, I went with like, my family at the time and everything else and stuff. But this was like a first one that I went with friends that I actually enjoyed, that I really liked and stuff, it because we came along, everybody who came through this TNG cast was like, oh my goodness, they did a movie, and the characters that we are so, enamored with, and we just seen this movie and stuff and everything else, and it's just like it was a whirlwind at the time. I'll never forget, the adventure of watching this particular movie, and then when they destroyed the Enterprise, my heart sunk. I was like, but then you know what? One of my friends said, look, when they destroy one ship, they are going to build another one. In a few more years, we're going to most likely see another Enterprise.
The Enterprise is my second favorite starship.
Enterprise E. We still don't know really what happened to her, but something happened to her that Worf did that they haven't really been clear on.
He ate
it. But no, this movie is very much an emotional roller coaster. I think it's got every kind of emotion in. And exactly. But there are some funny bits in it, of course. And that helped. Those little funny bits just helped to break up the sadness.
Where?
Most of the sadness is just Bill.
Well, at least,
just because he's there.
This is one case
Although,
go ahead, Katie.
Although I do have a confession to make.
Yes.
You're a secret Bill Shatner fan.
No, absolutely not. But there is one thing that Kirk said, and I'm just like, do you know what? I can't believe I'm admitting this, but that's something what I would say.
Oh my.
When he had that talk with Picard, when they were on the horses, and then he just went, sounds like fun. That is something that I would say going into a situation like that. I just feel like this sounds fun, let's have at it, and it pains me to admit that, but I can tolerate watching William Shatner in this because he is very toned down. Now, I think that if he'd have been that toned down in TOS, I wouldn't have so much against it. Because it was mainly him who basically made me hate Star Trek.
You want to hear something? You heard a little fun fact, Katie, about this? About something that I have learned about this movie. There's a deleted scene. I don't know if you can find. You can probably find it somewhere, probably on a disc or somewhere, Blu-ray or something. But there was a scene. You know how you said your favorite part was when Captain Kirk is basically on the walkway and he's falling to his death.
Mhm.
But they actually shot another scene where he's helping Picard and he gets shot in the back by a sword. And that's how he
That
died. He
that
gets
that
Mm.
that's the original. Is saying it. I
Yeah.
heard that when test audience saw that, they did not like it one bit. So
yeah,
they
they
went
did not
back
like
out to the Valley Fire. They reshot that ending scene, and as someone else said, it's one case where the bridge is on the captain.
Mm.
Well, yeah.
It's a
But
captain on bridge. Bridge on the captain.
If I was to have been at a test screening and saw that scene, I'd have been jumping for joy and cheering for Soren. I'm sorry, but I would. I really would. But no, he was very toned down in this movie. And
Mhm.
I actually don't mind him. This is literally the only thing I don't mind him in. I've still got a lot against him, you know, but with how
Well-
toned down he was, with how chill he was.
What about TJ Hooker?
Yeah.
CJ Hooker.
Can't stand it.
See,
But
I got
you
got
know,
about
it was... Sorry, go on, Dave.
yeah, that red alert say I got about 15 minutes left before I gotta pack it up tonight. So to let you guys know. So you gotta go pick up a housemate from work. There's no buses at this hour, so to get him home.
Hold on, what time is it where you are? 8
8
o'clock.
o'clock. Yeah.
For me
Yeah,
and
Colorado Springs transit
me
system
and Zach,
not
it's
that
10 o'clock
great.
here. It's 10 o'clock our
Mhm.
time.
Our last bus around here, and generally speaking across England, is about like rather 11:30 on a night, or like round about midnight.
Yeah, 8, 9 o'clock are when all the buses stop around here.
There again, all your pubs and clubs close like no later than 2 a.m. So that doesn't actually surprise me.
Usually close
That's
around
an
3. Most of the time they'll take the. I
Well,
mean,
they'll be like on the weekends they're
Depends.
closing at 3, but the rest of the week everyone's out the door.
They're usually
Last
10.
1:40 is 2 o'clock. By the
last
time everyone's
call.
out.
Oh,
Mhm.
3 a.m.
Sometimes
is an
as
early
early
night
as
for me on a night out. I usually like I'm used to going on nights out from like dinner time, round about what, maybe
I'm in
5
bed.
6 p.m. And then I don't roll in, and I literally like fall into my bed at like 8:30 a.m. the next day.
Dang.
No, but going back to the horse scene you were talking about, that the horse that Shatner's on is actually his horse. He is
Yup.
Yes,
a
yes.
Yes, I
he
did know
is
that.
an
Yup.
equestrian. Yeah,
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I did
big,
know
big.
Stuart, not so much.
Mm.
I
Stewart's
find it
more into
so
dogs.
funny. Oh, absolutely. But I find it so
Yeah.
funny that he's not very into horses, and yet Picard is, to a point where he
Yeah.
carries a saddle
Yeah.
around with him, you know, wherever he goes. And I just find that quite ironic. I find it quite funny.
No,
But,
it's so funny in this particular because this movie came out. This movie came out that week. It was a weekend. It was that Friday. They've seen it like the day before. I seen it the Friday and stuff. And Deep Space Nine, the third season, was kicking in high gear and stuff. It was the ninth episode. The following day, because they took DS9 when they came back, they took TNG from where I live at in the country and stuff and everything else. TNG used to come on Saturdays, in the late afternoons or something. I can't remember the time slot and everything else, but it worked for some reason. It worked, but right after TNG, DS9 came on, but it always came on like in the late afternoons. I want to say around like 5 or 6 or something. I'm not for sure. But anyway, once TNG was finished, DS9 came on, and DS9 took TNG's time slot. That weekend, a new TNG episode debuted. And it's so funny. I don't know if anybody remember, but this is like a little trivia thing and stuff and everything. Would anybody like to take a guess? Because they had a special guest in this particular episode of DS9.
Uh,
Spock.
Loxana.
Huh?
Loxana. Was that episode or?
No. It was the episode called Defiant.
Oh, Riker. Yeah.
Riker.
Thomas
Okay.
Riker.
Thomas Riker. Yes.
Pretending to be
Yes.
Will Riker.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I sometimes forget he exists.
Yeah.
There was a plan.
Yes, they right. It was a plan to get him out of Cardassian prison.
Mm.
It was a plan.
But they never got around to doing that.
Yeah. it was nice to see, Jonathan Frakes, back in the old style uniform, and it was like, oh, what? I was like, what's going on here? It had me fooled. It had me fooled the whole time.
Oh yeah, they had everybody fooled, even the viewers. Just like it didn't realize it was Thomas that was hijacking it until he took his sideburns off and say, "Oh shit, it's Tom."
What was that noise you played, Dave?
Boo. It's
Yeah, it sounds like a Leviathan.
A Leviathan.
It probably is.
It sounds like a kind of like ghostly Leviathan down in the depths of the ocean.
Oh, that's just me queefing.
A queef is a fart. A queef is a fart from the.
But JJ,
I only found out what that was a couple of weeks ago from these guys.
We're sick people.
Oh yes, we're raunchy. We're so raunchy. If we had Tyson here, he would just be making all kinds of, he said, I'm gonna open my my potpourri. You goodness, it's crazy. But you know what? In all because I know Dave's gonna have to wrap this up here really soon and stuff and everything. Like my final
Well, let me just ask this again, because I mean, there's still a lot to discuss about the movie. Do we want to do a part 2 next week and keep on talking about it?
Sure.
Ooh, let's do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could dissect this movie for another hour or two.
Yeah, say we started a little late tonight because of whatnot. So
a little technical difficulties.
Well, more like technical with me. Just wait till last minute. It's like, oh crap! I need to do the background. I need to do the credits and all that, and just like, see, well, you think being a house manager is an easy task. It is not. I've tried for 3 weeks now to have Mondays as my day. See, I need to do my thing. I need to do my stuff. I want to do this. I want to do that. I end up helping other people with their things.
Good luck.
Yeah, but through all that, I mean, I did make a little bit of money. And so the money that Cassie got selling those Pokemon cards, he gave me a generous amount that'll help out with me for the week, especially since I barely broke even with Lyft this last week. So
yeah, things will get back to better a little bit for us here in the States and stuff and everything.
Oh yeah, now that the government shutdown is over, I just hoping that I'll have a semi decent day. See, I've had to cancel a few trips because of other commitments. It's like crap, got to do this, got to do that, can't do this, can't do that. But one of the things that I'm hoping to get into tomorrow is there's a stress management course at my therapist, where my therapist's office is at. So I think that's something that would benefit me. And my DBT classes, I'm doing better with those, so it's making things better in that regard. So it's working on me a lot
That's
to
right.
Good. You need to,
help keep
darling.
my sanity, to help keep on collecting these chips.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this is why I do a lot of meditation so that my inner thoughts don't become felonies.
Well, the last time I actually did a full blown meditation, I got in a total Zen moment. I was just sitting there, legs crossed, and all of a sudden, the last name of a student that was a year behind me in high school, his name just a voice just screamed his name in my head, and I immediately got out of whatever trance state I was in, and then I started reaching out to people that might say, Is he okay? Is he okay?" I was meditating. His name just popped in my head. We he was a junior my senior year, and so didn't the only interactions that he and I had was me writing about him in the sports page because he was an athlete. But why I still don't have an answer why his name popped in my head. And it's an uncommon last name. I don't want to put it on blast out here, but backstage I'll let you know. It's not Smith or Jones or anything like that. It's there's something weird going on with that. But
Last time I
I'm
was in a
intrigued.
last time I was in a meditative state was about a week ago. It was an adoration, and I kid you not, I heard Jesus say, "I got this, Zach."
because you do got it.
hmm Oh no,
That's
not
beautiful.
me. That was Jesus telling me that he has it. He's like, "I got
Oh,
this, Zach." Yeah,
he's taking the wheel.
yeah. Jesus is taking the wheel.
Yeah,
I
Good
that's
meditate
song,
when
at least twice a day.
that is a good
I'm,
song, but yeah.
I
Go ahead,
meditate
Jen.
at least twice a day for an hour each time. Um, but a lot of the time, my meditations I do more of because of my lack of sleep. So it
mm,
actually helps my body relax
hmm
and get that little bit of rest that it needs. And it helps to recenter my entire me and kind of like reorganize my brain a little bit. Um, so yeah, but I recommend meditation to everyone.
I guess I'm the odd person out because I have never done that before. I'm the odd person out tonight.
Oh man,
Oh,
this is
darling.
my. I meditate when I have these in my hands, so I don't really meditate. I say the rosary.
Oh no,
But you
I go
meditate.
into like I
You
do
meditate.
self-guided meditations as well. And I also do sound frequency meditations. So play
hmm
certain sound frequencies, and I mean you can have there's like different sound frequencies for your different chakras and all sorts. And for like I do a certain ones for my migraine, for my pain, and
hmm
it sounds a lot, but it really isn't. Well, it isn't for me anyway. But you know, if I've got a busy day, I still make sure that I meditate for at least 30 minutes to an hour.
yeah, if I had 30 minutes to an hour for that, but I try to do like some emphasis on try because I usually forget, but I
You
want
know
to
something? We
do
speak.
it for like
We're
a
talking about Star
for
Trek
bed.
about meditation,
Mm.
and stuff. You guys, y'all do a lot of the things that Vulcans do before they go to sleep. They meditate 1 hour every night before they go to sleep.
They do.
And I also
Yeah.
help it to control my emotions as well.
That's that Vulcans do that same thing. Katie, you more
Yeah,
Vulcan
but
than you are Klingon.
yeah, but
See, but it's,
Yeah, but you see,
Vulcans
I
are
have
still
to
assholes.
embrace my inner Vulcan so that my inner Klingon doesn't come out. This is
yeah,
the problem.
I just love this meme.
All engines full reverse. Oh, that was such a good. They got caught in the trailing edge of the energy ribbon. I
Yeah,
remember that.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was.
but yeah, say whoever made that meme's a genius.
Oh,
And he was in Ferris Bueller. That's the thing. It was like, oh my god. And you
Oh,
know what? It was so funny. In that, I think a year later, he was in the movie Speed. He was on the bus in the movie Speed.
yeah.
I remember. I was like, wait.
I'm gonna
I was
say,
like,
is that Alan Rocket? Oh my God, we've hit 60 live viewers. So yeah, I think that is a record. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, if you haven't already, if on Dave Prime 1701, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you can be. Oh, and it went back down to 59, but it hit 60 for a moment.
Oh,
That's the important thing.
but yeah, hit
So
that.
say,
Go to Dave Prime 1701. Also, Dave, why don't you tell him to get some dummy?
Oh, see, yeah, I'm kind of putting Dubby's a great product, but with my doctor has told me I got to get off the caffeine. So I'm just like I
That's
don't know.
understandable.
I love Dubby. I love the products. I love the names that they have for all their flavors. It's a great product. So I mean, if by some chance you need something new to try to get that energy boost without the sugar crash afterwards, yeah, just go to w.gg, hit and enter the code TechTrek, TEKTREK. You get 10% off your non-bundled product. So if they have bundled deals, you're getting a deal already. But if you just wanted to try one or two flavors, get a cool tumbler, which I don't have it in front of me. It's that cute little anime boy that I want to marry that's on there. I'm sorry, he's a cute
and don't
dude.
forget, Dave,
So
tell people how they can actually interact with us.
oh God, yeah, ha ha ha! I totally forgot about that tonight. Yeah, I was saying so. We're going to continue to talk generations next week. So if you missed out on some of it, missed an opportunity, next week's your chance. If you click on the link in the description below, there's a link that goes to StreamYard that'll get you access to interact with us live on camera. We are one of the probably like the only Star Trek podcast that lets you actually get on camera, get on, just get on the microphone if you're camera shy, to let what you think about what you're thinking about known. Because while the YouTube chat is a great thing, we don't know what your vocal inflections are. We don't know if you're being serious or sarcastic. So by hearing you, bam, we know what's going on in your head there. But yeah, so we are going to keep on talking next week. This is going to be the first two-part episode of Technically Trek. I know usually we just keep on stretching it on, but we don't want to go too overboard because like Zach and Travis is saying, it's like quarter almost 10:30 now where they're at, so we don't want to make it too long so we don't lose viewers. But yeah. Any closing thoughts from either of you before we call it good for tonight?
Shatner's a dick.
Engage.
We what was that you said, Zach?
I said engage.
Engage. Make it so. It's a until next
I was gonna
week,
say. I was
5:30
gonna say this.
Pacific. Oh,
I was gonna say this before I was name it is Mr. Worf fire.
yeah, that's something I want to talk about next week because there's a
Let's do
huge
it.
plot
Yeah,
hole with that saying, but yeah, we will talk about this more next week. So until
absolutely.
then, 5:30 Pacific,
Do your
8:30
homework,
Eastern
everybody.
time. Yeah, do your homework,
Yes.
watch the movie if you haven't watched the movie yet. Saying I had a creative way of doing my notes for this week, but hopefully it'll get fixed by next week. So until next week, may Spock be with you. Hailing frequencies are now